67 questions to ask your students. How's your day going? What is the best thing that happened to you today? What name would you like me to call you? What does learning mean to you? What do you enjoy most at school? What's something interesting you learned in school today? What can I as a teacher do to support you this year? What do you like teachers to do in class? If you could make one rule for everyone to follow at school, what would it be? What is the first thing you'd do if you were president? What is an unwritten rule about school that everyone knows? What do you know how to do that you can teach to others? If you had 3 wishes, what would they be and why? Who are your heroes and why? If you were famous, what would you want to be famous for? What is your favorite animal? What is your favorite place to spend time at? When do you feel happy? What makes you feel happy? What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel respected? What is one thing you like about yourself? If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? When do you laugh at school? When do you feel listened to? When do you feel supported? When your best friend is having a bad day, how do you cheer them up? How would you like to be cheered up on a bad day? What is something you're proud of? What is something you do every single day? What's one new thing you tried this week? What are you curious about? What is something about yourself you could totally brag about, but usually don't? Is there something that makes you unhappy, but you still do or use it anyway? At what age does a person become an adult? Why? What do you enjoy doing outside of school? What do you like the least about school? What would you change about school? If you could talk to yourself 3 years ago, what would you say? If you were to teach today's lesson, what would you do differently? When do you think it's okay to make a mistake at school? What do you want to know about your teachers? What advice would you give to yourself to make this a better school year? What are you going to focus on this week? What projects will you prioritize this week? How do you like to study? When are you most productive? What do you find distracting when you're working? What's the first thing you do when given a new project? Do you prefer doing individual or group projects? How have you changed since school started? What advice do you have for the younger students? Do you have everything you need to learn at school? Do you have everything you need to learn at home? Do you have a positive space to work outside of school? Do you need different ways of accessing school content or material? If you are feeling unwell or need help, is there someone you trust? What questions can I answer for you? Can I clarify anything we just discussed? How would you summarize our class? How would you explain today's class to a friend who is absent? What is the most interesting thing you learned today? On a scale of 1 to 10, how challenging did you find today's class and why? What is one thing you learned today that everyone should know? What would you want to learn about next? What are you looking forward to this week? Is there anything you'd like to discuss before we wrap up today?